Not knowing where to start. There are moments when the weight of starting something new feels almost unbearable. It's as if the very act of beginning is an insurmountable task, not because we lack the ability or desire, but because the path ahead is unclear. The mind churns, filled with ideas, doubts, and a tangle of possible directions. Yet instead of movement, there is stillness, an uncomfortable, suffocating pause where nothing seems to happen. This feeling can emerge in different areas of life: starting a new project, making a career move, writing a book, rebuilding oneself after loss, or even something as seemingly simple as organizing a space. No matter the context, the experience of not knowing where to start is universal. But why does it happen? And more importantly, how do we move through it? The overwhelm of possibility. One of the biggest reasons we struggle with starting is the sheer weight of possibilities. When we see too many paths in front of us, choosing one feels like a gamble. What if we pick the wrong one? What if there's a better way? What if we fail? These questions create a kind of analysis paralysis, where the fear of making a mistake keeps us from making any decision at all. But the truth is, there is rarely a singular right way to begin. Most paths lead somewhere meaningful, even if they require adjustments along the way. The key is to recognize that action, even imperfect action, is what ultimately brings clarity. Thinking alone won't solve the problem, movement will. The illusion of readiness. Another common barrier to starting is the belief that we need to feel ready before taking action. We tell ourselves we need more information, more preparation, more confidence. But readiness is often an illusion. Many of the greatest accomplishments in life were started before their creators felt fully prepared. The difference is that they began anyway, trusting that the process itself would teach them what they needed to know. If we wait for the perfect conditions, we may never begin at all. The fear of imperfection, of not having all the answers, keeps us trapped in hesitation. But what if, instead of waiting to feel ready, we committed to starting before we were? What if we allowed the process to guide us rather than expecting certainty from the outset? Breaking the inertia. When a car is at a complete stop, getting it to move requires significant force. But once it's rolling, even slightly, it becomes much easier to keep going. The same is true for any endeavor. The hardest part is often just getting started. One effective strategy for breaking inertia is to lower the stakes of the first step. Instead of trying to solve the entire problem at once, focus on taking one small, manageable action. If you want to write a book, don't worry about crafting the perfect opening. Just write a single sentence. If you want to start a new habit, commit to doing it for just 5 minutes. Progress, no matter how small, builds momentum. Embracing imperfection. Perfectionism is one of the greatest enemies of action. It tells us that if we can't do something flawlessly, we shouldn't do it at all. But in reality, nothing begins perfect. Every masterpiece started as a rough sketch. Every successful business began with trial and error. Every personal transformation started with a single, uncertain step. Instead of fearing imperfection, we should embrace it. The first draft of anything will be messy. The first attempt at a skill will be awkward. But that's the point. Progress comes from refining, adjusting, and improving over time. Expecting perfection from the start only ensures that we never begin. Trusting the process. Often, the best way forward is to trust that the process will reveal the answers we seek. When we engage with our work, our goals, or our personal growth, new insights emerge. We begin to see what works and what doesn't. We refine our approach as we go. But none of that happens if we never take the first step. Learning to trust the process means accepting that discomfort and uncertainty are part of the journey. It means believing that clarity will come through action, not just contemplation. It means acknowledging that even the best laid plans will evolve, and that's okay. Final thoughts. Just begin. If you find yourself stuck, unsure of where to start, remember this. The only way to move forward is to take action, however small. Start anywhere. Begin with the first thing that comes to mind. Let go of the need for perfection and instead embrace the messiness of beginnings. Because the secret to getting unstuck isn't in finding the perfect place to start, it's in realizing that starting at all is what truly matters.